you were born into a family, you didn't negotiate. You just grew up to learn to love your sister and brothers. That you didn't know that you will be in that family. You are just in that family, and you learn to love them. And as far as you can love them and say, you can love any woman. Well, after he has browsed and finished, downloaded everything that is installed inside, you want him to come again? He's not coming. I'm a man. I know how men feel.
Abuja marriage is becoming the order of the day in our society. And you may be wondering, what is Abuja marriage? Well, someone could say marrying on credit. Today, I want us to talk about this issue of marriage raw as we bring on stage our beloved brother, Dr. Mike Hudan. Good day, sir.
My pleasure.
We are happy to have you today.
Nice to be in your studio.
You're welcome, sir.
God bless you.
So, this issue of Abuja marriage, please, what do you have to say about it?
Well, I think the terminology of our Abuja marriage is intended to just do a cover-up. Actually, the real concept is marriage on credit. It's a relatively new concept, especially in the early 1980s. The concept started creeping in. If you look at marriages from the 1920s up to 1979 and 1980 in this country, that concept of marriage on credit was not there. It was shortly after the Buhari regime of 1983. And when the economy started dwindling, getting to 1985, when we had the structural adjustment program as introduced by the then military head of state, that people started structurally adjusting their relationship. And instead of following the normal route of seeing the woman, loving the woman, and going to the parents of the woman to finish the marital right and take the woman home, people now decided to conduct their own marriage on their own.
So let me ask you a question before you proceed. Are you insinuating that the government of the land contributed to this issue of marriage on credit? Or
you know, when you are doing a research on a subject matter, you look at all the factors. The economic situation had prevailed to the point that instead of going forward to approach the parents and do the necessary thing, they now take the shortest cut, influenced by the economy. For example, if you do a study of young people between the ages of 30 and 40 that are not married, you put them on stage now and do a study of them, you discover that between 30 and 40 that are not married, 82% of them is because they don't have the resources. But even as they are not married, they are not sleeping alone. They are just single by statute, but not single on bed.
Now, looking at this economy.
No, let's agree first.
Okay.
Because we need to agree first that the economy played a key role. That's why I have traced historically. In fact, if you meet someone that was married in 1975 up to 1980, you hear nothing like Abuja marriage or marriage on credit. You are either married or you are not married. In chemistry, there are some compound, we call them pseudo. That is, they look like. They have a false appearance. You know, in this Abuja marriage, so to call, let me borrow your term, it has to do with somebody pretending to think he is married.
Somebody pretending to think
he is married. Yes,
in reality he's not married.
He knows that he is not married. And what is surprising is that it's even prevalent within the Christian faith.
So are you trying to downplay on the necessity of having self-control because of the economic situation?
I'm not downplaying. And people are saying, I ought to marry. I don't have the resources to go and marry. So, and I have a need to satisfy my sexual desire because of my age and the sexuality profile of my age. I'm now at an sexually active age. Therefore, what's the next alternative open to me? Hello, Angela. How are you doing? So fine. I love you. Say you love me. Say, come now, let's relate together. And Angela now start performing the role of a wife. She sleeps with me sexually, or using biblical term, carnally. She washes my clothes and. But let me tell you that there is even another type of marriage. Maybe we need to even start from there, called campus marriage, where a boy leaves his father's house to the university, the girl leaves his mother's house to the university, and they go and rent one house and live together, husband and wife.
Campus marriage.
Yes, campus marriage.
Yes.
So people have devised means to short circuit God's standard.
So let me ask: after their graduation, do they remain married? Or
No, they can separate, and when they separate, and that ends the marriage. The marriage was only to serve the purpose of while they were in the university or polytechnic or college of education, as the case may be. So that what I'm equally saying is that let all the parents check their children. I have one in the university. You check your own, whether your child is not married to a man there. People are doing a lot of things. So what I'm saying is that this concept of Abuja marriage, as you are calling it, or waterproof marriage, as we call it in Ogoja, it's a marriage that does not have a legal status.
And so, sir, based on your former assertion that the economic situation also...
But that is not an excuse, in case you are coming from that angle. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. So I'm only showing, in discussing this subject matter, we need to go to the root to look at what are the factors that motivated.
And so...
and we are not saying, we are saying that even in this economy, people are still marrying. Those who want to respect the sanctity of marriage.
So let me ask this question.
Yes.
Will anything be wrong if a parent or if the parent decides to give their daughter's hand in marriage to a man without collecting anything?
Nothing. But there are three things that should happen before that is validated.
Please, what are those things?
That is why, because a lot of people are, let me even start, because probably if we go to the root, we will understand. The issue is that there are concepts that people are bringing up that is leading to this. I have mentioned the economic aspect. The second aspect that is influencing people's behavior is the concept of consent. There is a school of thought that arose, especially in Akwa Ibom in 1995-96, where there was a teaching that started flowing from different religious groups that consent is marriage. That once there's consent between two adults, they are free to marry. As if the adult fell from the tree. You understand what I'm saying? So with that idea that consent is marriage. So once a guy asks a girl, will you marry me? And the girl accepts. Both of them have consented. And so both
consent of them, from where? Is it from the two?
Consent of the two parties.
Okay, not the consent of the parent.
Which one is the parent? Where are you going to go and see the parent to collect consent? In year 2000 up to 2004, the new concept came again called introduction. It happened to me. I am privileged to be a witness. My cousin came and told me that we should go, as you go with him to introduction. In my culture, introduction requires 2 or 3 persons. You go knock on the door and inform the family that you are the one coming for marriage, for their daughter in marriage. And then after that, you will be given a marriage list, and then you will now go and prepare to fulfill the marital rights according to that list, and you have a right to defend it and disagree in areas where they do not conform with your economy and the status of your pocket. But on this occasion, my cousin came and invited me, and we were going. I noticed that about 3 or 4 cars were following. I noticed there was drink. I noticed cameramen. I said, what are you? He said, knocking. We got there, we knocked on the door. I was one of the spokesmen. We knocked on the door, and everything was, there were pictures snapping. The girl dressed very beautifully, and they took photographs. After that day, till now, we've not seen them. The photographs were enough to demonstrate that they are married. But things are happening.
So, okay, sir.
In their mind, they know they are not married, but they have just successfully reduced the tension that at least they came to see the father of the girl.
Very briefly, because there's something I'm thinking.
But you better bring what you are thinking out so that we can look. We are missing. I'm in your studio today. We need to look at it because we have not even looked at it that all of what I'm saying now is Christians are even guilty.
Yeah, I don't want us to reach that. Sir, now in the first place, what is marriage, and when
Marriage,
is marriage
marriage,
said to be contracted?
marriage is a very simple process that involves four parties.
Marriage is a very simple process that
That
involves
involve
four
four
parties. Okay.
The boy and the girl that are marrying, the boy family that is marrying, the girl family that is going to be married, and the witness, either the church or the friends of the boy or the friends of the girl or onlookers or community. That is why in my culture, Abuja, where I come from, there's no marriage that is said to be successful when there's no portion of drink for the youth, portion of drink for the women, portion of drink for the community chiefs. What that means is that even if you marry inside the room and pay everything, these three will be taken. They are going to call the youth, say, come on, there is a girl in this village here that has been married. One man came and paid for her and carried her and gone. See your drink here. Women, see your salt here. Look at your malt, 1 crate of malt here, and look at your money here. They came and married. By so doing, these statutory people become evident to that marriage. So marriage is a simple process where the boy and girl, the father and family of the boy, the family of the girl, and onlookers meet together, and the process of the marriage takes place, and the girl is handed over to the family of the boy.
So could it be, because you talk about when you're defining marriage, please, I want you to relate that to the scripture. What you have just described now, could it be what it means to live?
And the Bible talked about, going scripturally, the Bible that a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one. That is conceptualized as in living as an independent, going to stay. I am looking at the root process here in Africa, where so that if you have not done that process like this, then you know that your relationship with the woman is questionable.
I appreciate you for that. Remember, I asked what is marriage, and
Yes.
when is marriage said to
Marriage
be
is said to be contracted at the point where the father of the girl hands over the girl to the father of the boy, who will later hand the girl to the boy.
Even if he does not collect anything.
Even if he does not collect, but people are there to observe. The collecting is just symbolic. I know a vice chancellor in Cross River State of the University of Calabar, whose children flew from the UK to come and marry, and it collected, I think, about 1,000 naira. So if you look at the flight ticket from UK down, you know that 1,000 is rubbish. But that's what they collect. That is his bride price for the daughter, and give the daughter hand in marriage. It's not about the size of money. It's about the respect to that culture.
So
So if you have not done so, and you are bubbling and browsing somebody's daughter, your marriage is incomplete.
So, sir, that means there is possibility for marriage to be contracted in a manner that is pleasing to the Lord without going into this Abuja marriage or
Yes,
marrying.
that's why I tell any young man that comes to me, plead with the family of the girl to reduce the pressure on the list.
Okay.
So that you can be able to meet up and go. Even if they say go take free, refuse and insist on giving something.
So that leads me to another question.
Yes.
Don't you think that society has contributed to this issue?
We are not discussing society now. We are discussing about the things that relate to Christianity and in the church.
Yeah,
any brother in the church who joins the people to inflate the list very high.
That's what I'm saying.
I know where you were going. And inflate the list very high have contributed to the problem of the daughter remaining.
Exactly.
Let me even tell you this, and this is not too fine, but I like this to be on record. I am one of those persons that advocate for geographical marriages.
Geographical marriages.
Using the Japanese theory of love.
Please
explain.
Yes. Japanese theory of love. The Japanese people believe that you were born into a family, you didn't negotiate. You just grew up to learn to love your sister and brothers. That you didn't know that you will be in that family. You are just in that family, and you learn to love them. And as far as you can love them, you can love any woman.
That is interesting.
So for that reason, if I live in Abuja and I know a Gbagi woman, and I know that to marry somebody from Gbagi, I need 100,000, and I see, for example, an Akwa Ibom girl that I love also, and to marry her I need 650 to 700,000, and I really want to marry, I will marry a baggy. That's my advocacy.
So what is the role of love?
Love is going to be developed in the marriage. Love is leave my sweet-mouthed philosophical people. Are you not aware of the law of diminishing return? That even when you are excited about it, after it will diminish. It is the love that will develop inside the marriage that will sustain us, not to allow the law of diminishing return affect us. The chest that was standing will collapse. The body the skin that was shining will shrink. It's not about cream. There are things that will naturally go down. And so if you don't develop the love to appreciate your wife or appreciate your husband, inside the marriage, not outside, not the external outside, after a while it will...
So you are saying that love is more of decision than feeling?
Yes, it's more of, in fact, decision that is driven by data.
Wait, so
data-driven decision.
Wait, that even reminds me of something. I've been in my little research. I understand very well that you are a PhD holder in
cloud computing.
Cloud
computing. That is not the area.
No, wait.
What is important? No, but wait, I have just finished a postgraduate program with a base university in data analytics.
Good. That means you
data-driven decision is that you need to know that for any decision you take, there are consequences. It's cheaper to stay with the wife you have married than to go and start investing in a new relationship. That's a data-driven decision. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to warm the old soup than to start the fresh list to buy a new one. But no matter how Manchester United field looks green from the satellite TV, when you go very close to it, you will spot that some of the grasses are not as green as they were seen in the television. If you understand the parable, or I should break it down. You know, sometimes these are the issues that have been affecting us.
Please break it down for us.
Yes, you see, sometimes just to tell yourself the truth. Say, look, Michael, I was in an airport in South Africa. No, in Tanzania, sorry, with my wife, and a young, beautiful angel came and passed. And I looked at her carefully and I smiled. I just told myself, I said, Michael, it's just after 5 minutes you will understand and everything about you will no longer be the same. Concentrate on your wife. I turned and looked at my wife. I said, I love you. She didn't know why I said that. You were looking at me and said, what kind of thing is this in the airport? I said, love you. You are the only one I have. And she did not understand that I was using her to remind myself that based on data-driven decision, I have no option than to remain here. Any attempt to focus that side, I will lose my faith, lose respect, lose everything. That's why people are not looking at the respect for God's law. We look at the respect for God's law. Like I said the other day when I came to your studio, I mentioned that sin is rebellion.
Yeah, you said so. I remember that.
Sin is rebellion. It is sinful for any married man to cast his eye and look elsewhere. Focus on she's the only one to focus, only one. So back to our point. The issue why people are beginning to take this route is that they are doing this to be able to be called married when actually they are not married. In fact, I don't know your culture. In my culture, if you have not paid for your woman, the day she dies, that's the day everybody knows you have not paid. The family will come and carry that dead body from your house.
Sir, I want you
to take the dead body to their own family house and bury it. You will be going to that family house now to go and attend the burial of your wife, of your supposed wife. Why? Because you did not. And that is when the shame. Sometimes people decide to even want to marry the corpse. So I am advocating that we can eliminate that kind of marriage and ensure that we are doing the right thing by marrying properly.
So because I want you to also speak to parents, because talking about the role of parents in promoting this, though they call it Abuja marriage, but it happens, it is also termed in the other area, like you said in Ogoja,
they call it waterproof marriage.
Yeah. Because there are some parents who will say, oh, a young man, take this my daughter, go and live with her. When you have something, come back.
Yes, that parent had not understood the sanctity of marriage.
Will that still be referred to as marrying
on credit? That is consent from the father.
Yes. Now, why did the parent not say, take and go? I have given you, you have married. Why is it difficult? It's difficult because there are some statutory responsibility and rights that have not been performed. There's a difference between take and go after come back. The word after come back suggests that you are still in debt.
That's the credit.
And so it now leads to what we can properly call credit marriage.
Yes.
And there's no scriptural marriage that is credit. You finish everything, you go.
Sir, I know of a family that currently the husband and wife, they are separated because they gave this guy their daughter, but he could not manage her well, he maltreated her. So the parent came to retrieve the woman, say, okay, come and do the right thing. And they are Christians.
Yes.
So what do you say to
them? They say, come and do the right thing. How can he come and do the right thing? Have you forgotten the law of diminishing return? Well, after he has browsed and finished, downloaded everything that is installed inside, you want him to come again? He's not coming. I'm a man. I know how men feel.
But who gave the authority? And the
it is that father that made that blunder. That's why I love my father-in-law, and I will praise him even on set. When I got to marry my wife, my father-in-law looked at me and said, Mike, I love you already. I just love you. I like you. Come, leave your father. I left my father at the parlor. He got into the room. How much do you have? What do you have for bride price? What do you have for farm? What do you have for this, as we call in my culture? He said, I'm not asking you what is somewhere. What is here in your pocket? I mentioned. He came back and said, it's okay. He came and sat with everybody and started announcing, for his bride price, he's going to collect this. As he mentioned, I pulled out and gave. For his farm, he's going to collect this. He mentioned, I pulled out and gave. For his clothing, he's going to take this. For this. I finished giving the money. And he said, Budam, call my father. Your son don't finish. Oh, yeah. He took the daughter and gave to my father, and they collected. And my father collected and handed over to me. They prayed for us. And then the next day, we went then and did the marriage celebration. And he was bold to tell people in that location that we married yesterday. Simple. And this 21 years now in the marriage, and it has no crack. We are enjoying ourselves. He didn't belittle me. I didn't belittle my wife to say that I didn't pay much. But I'm married. He helped me to be stabilized. And that's why whoever, I have two daughters, whoever is coming to marry my daughter, the best is lucky.
Now, sir, that goes back to the question I wanted to raise concerning societal influence.
Yes.
You see, I'm thinking
Christians are not supposed to allow society to dictate for them. The Bible says we are supposed to set standard for the world to copy. In Romans chapter 12 verse 2, it says, do not follow the pattern of this world. They be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Okay. So many Christians in the church, their minds are not renewed.
So in essence, what you are saying is that
a question, if my son that you saw recently wants to come and marry your daughter, you are supposed to look at me, I look at you, we start smiling.
That's true.
The little you take anything just so that tradition is fulfilled. And my son, when you now go and pay a very lengthy list and tell me that is high, as if, look, we have created this problem. And as I speak to you, let me tell you, the one you are saying this, we are saying this so that everybody can learn. I want to say this very strong and very deep. That if you scan congregations, religious houses, you line up people supposedly married, line them up and put them under oath. If you know everything has been finished, come this way. You'll be shocked at what you see. Try it on Sunday.
Okay.
People are just living in self-deception.
So I appreciate you for this insightful session.
Yes.
I want to ask, what is the remedy?
The remedy is
what are the remedies?
The remedy, one principal remedy is realize that you are living with someone's daughter that you have not done what you are supposed to do. For me, I advocate for quiet arrangement. You have already deceived us in Abuja that you are married. Go quietly. No noise. Good afternoon, sir. I realize I have been with your daughter for the past 13 years, and that is not right. I have come to do everything. There's no feast. Gather your family, gather all the necessary things. I'll pay everything that is required. You pay quietly, and they grant that same woman back to you properly. You kneel down, they pray for you, you go back home. It's valid before God.
So you are talking about culture. You know, there are some cultures that have rules that are beyond the parents of those children.
I do not agree. It is the parents that join in the culture. If, let me tell you, because today you are now raising the issue, we're going to look at it a little bit deep. If Ekpenyong is my elder brother, you are my younger brother, I'm the middle brother now. We are three of us in the family. And Ekpenyong daughter was married. Me and you, we sat in council to decide the bride price. The day my daughter will marry, Ekpenyong will sit with you, with me to decide. But if when Ekpenyong own was there, I told Ekpenyong, bros, take your decision on your own. He will not come and take on my own. So that man that is insisting that it is not true is because his hand has been deep in people's own. And so he cannot escape. So a Christian brother who wants to be clear with his level head and give out his daughter with purity need to determine how he associates with people. That does not mean that if you want to marry my daughter, I will collect money for I will go to the youth council. How much is how much are you taking now for marriage? They said 1 crate of malt. I will collect from the person marrying. No compromise there. For the women, I'll collect. For the community elders, I'll collect, because these are statutory for village. Any other thing that revolve around me, I know what to do.
Okay, sir. I appreciate you for...
So whoever is a Christian father or Christian mother should begin now to know that he's not selling his child.
Okay, we appreciate you for leading us through in this session. Please, what is your last comment or word
my last comment
to our viewers?
My last comment is that if you are there, you have already entered the relationship and you call it marriage, encourage the man to use. If you are the female, I will use a pigeon, use sweet mouth to lobby him to go and see your parents. Because after he has finished browsing and downloading, it will have difficulty to go. I'm a preacher now. I know a congregation here. When I came to preach in 2013, out of the entire church, it was only me and one brother that had prayed for our wives. The rest of the men, they were all with women that they have lived for 15, 20, 23, 28 years. 1 naira they have not paid. I had to now start persuasion. I start persuasion. You persuade somebody to see reason. One of them will have disfellowship him 24 years. He told me that I will not pay anything for that woman. A woman is very stubborn. 24 years with 4 children. He was stubborn, you put belly 1, stubborn, you put belly 2, stubborn, you put belly 3, stubborn, you put belly 4. Now go and pay. He said no. He's now opting to pay for a brand new one. Yes,
that,
he does. This
has not been browsed yet.
Yes, that even if it's browsed, it has not been browsed much. This cohabitation does not favor the female.
Okay.
Because the male can wake up immediately and go and start a new thing.
All right, sir. We appreciate you so much for being part of this session. Brother Solomon, please, what do you have to say to our viewers? Your last word of encouragement.
Dr. Mike has said it all. Please, ladies, you have heard. This Abuja marriage or cellophane marriage does not favor you. So please, push that man to go and see your parents. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the BOC Raw Truth TV, where we say things raw in order to guide you in this life. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, subscribe to it. Please drop your comments on the comment section. We want to hear from you. Always remember to hit that notification button so that you will be notified once we drop a new content. We look forward to coming your way again. Thank you and God bless you.